All right, in this video, we're going to take a look at solving inequalities. So make sure you write today's title and then the date in the upper right-hand corner of your notebook. And as you're writing that down, I'm going to start off with our first piece of information for solving inequalities. All right, to solve inequalities, we're going to use the same steps that we use when solving equations. So you follow the same steps as solving equations. So remember what that means is use undo operations. So let's look at some examples. Let's say I gave you the inequality x plus 5 is greater than 10. So if this was an equation, to solve this equation, we would undo what's near the x. So the x, we have adding 5 after it. So the undo of adding 5 is subtracting 5. So remember, what you do to one side of the inequality, you have to do to the other side. It's just like with equations. So this becomes x greater than 5, because the 5 minus 5 cancels out, and then 10 minus 5 is 5. All right, the only additional step with inequalities is you have to put your answer on a number line. So we can create a little number line, put the number that you solve for in the middle, and then put one number to the right of it and one number to the left of it, and that gives you a good sense of your number line. So remember, for number lines, this symbol for the inequality is going to be an open circle because it doesn't have the line underneath it. And we want numbers that are greater than 5, so that means I shade to the right. And that's solving an inequality. Let's look at another example. Let's say this time I have y minus 4 is less than or equal to negative 2. So again, just like we did before, we're going to use undo operations to get the variable by itself. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. The undo of subtracting is adding. So in this case, I get y is less than or equal to negative 2 plus 4 is positive 2. So then remember, with inequalities, we're going to graph a solution to our answers in a number line. So I'm going to start with the number in the middle, and then pick a point or a number to the right and a number to the left. So when we have a line underneath, remember that's a solid dot. And this time I'm shading everything less than 2, which means I'm shading to the left. So solving inequalities is the same steps as solving equations. We just have one extra step there of graphing a number line. Let's look at 2 more examples, and then that'll be it for this video. Those are one-step inequalities. Let's look at some 2-step inequalities. Let's say I gave you 3x plus 1 is less than 10. So remember, it's the same process as our other problems. We want to use undo operations to get the x by itself. So first we have to subtract that 1 away from both sides of the inequality. 1 minus 1 goes away, so I'm left with 3x less than 10 minus 1 is 9. And now remember, at this step, the undo operation here, when you're multiplying, is dividing. So x is less than 3. So we've used undo operations to solve this inequality. And now remember, I can put my number line, open circle, and I want less than 3. So I'm going to shade everything to the left. One more example, and then that'll be it for today. This time, let's say I have a divided by 5 minus 6 is greater than or equal to positive 6. So remember, you want to undo the adding or subtracting first when you have this type of an equation. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. Adding 6 to both sides eliminates over here. So I have a over 5 is greater than or equal to 12. So now remember, when you have a fraction, the undo of a fraction is dividing, so the undo is multiplying. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. That reduces to 1a, so that was my goal. And then 12 times 5 is 60. So I have a is greater than or equal to 60. So remember, on a number line, I'm just going to put my number in the middle and pick a number to the right of it and a number to the left of it. This is going to be a solid dot. And I'm shading everything greater than 60. And that's solving inequalities, 1-step and 2-step. Let me know if you have any questions.